No, yeah. It looks like.
Did the main chick become a dude?
Let's go live.
Oh, are we live right now?
Yes. We're close.
Jesus.
What's her name?
I forget her name.
Isn't it Christian something?
But did the main dude die?
No, he just released a movie.
Edward?
Oh no, he's bigger than he ever was.
He just released a movie
What?
with Zendaya.
Then why did she do that?
Because she's not romantically attracted to it.
Should we start our conspiracy? Are we live right now?
Yeah.
We are. Want to get our channel taken down? Have you heard the conspiracy that Zendaya isn't real? She's not a real person. She never was real.
She was AI the whole time?
Like a social experiment.
To see if we would accept an AI person as a...
I think. Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Where did you hear that?
TikTok.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's
We'll
real.
beat you guys here.
Dude, then it's real.
If TikTok said it, it's real.
Yeah. But that means...
Check the settings.
Bro, that means...
Chat too, right?
That one is chat. The microphone. Yeah.
It's the speaker.
Speaker is chat, and then the microphone is main. Yep. And then click the gear.
So that would
Do
mean...
high five. Yep.
So that would mean Tom Holland is in on it deep if Zendaya is AI.
Yeah, what do we think?
Wow.
I heard a conspiracy that Zendaya
We're
is not
talking
real.
conspiracies.
Oh, yeah, we need our mics.
Oh.
Our
Hey, y'all are early.
Secondary mics.
Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Those are expensive.
Just launch it. Yes,
Oh,
perfect.
you're gonna need magnets.
I need a magnet.
Oh, I need a
Perfect.
magnet.
Or you could launch it again. Great. I got both.
Where's my magnet? Oh,
Yes.
thanks. Angelina.
Check. Man.
Dang, you. Yeah. Dang, you guys are
So
early.
weird. Yeah. Well done, gang. Getting here early.
The
Normally Trace is the first one.
the early artist.
Gets
The
You
early
eat it.
the early artist is the smartest.
I thought you were trying to make it like gets the worm analogy.
I think Trace is at camp right now. He might be playing a session.
That would do it.
That would do it.
How y'all doing? So good. Is about the Dove Awards. Yeah, who'd
Do we
you
know
get?
him? We know him.
Are you allowed to share the name yet, or do you
Is there
are
a
you in like a,
secret?
a special
Is it like a
announcements? You already had a rehearsal?
You got Chris Tomlin?
That's wild.
Dang.
Chris Tomlin in our network?
Dude, is he in the network? Did Chris join? I must have missed him. Sometimes those smaller artists just kind of slip by the radar, you know.
Yeah.
Christ Omlin? That's funny. Christ Omlin? Who's Christ Omlin? Like, why is he in the network? Kick him out. Can you imagine kicking Chris Tomlin out of the network accidentally?
AI artist, get him out of here.
This guy's AI. Get him out. Like Chris wrote his song. Yeah. I mean, okay, let's be real though. Like, he kind of does that, doesn't he? Well, is he usually a writer on them and then a bigger artist like makes it popular and then he releases his version? Like Holy Forever, was that originally his?
And then Bethel did it, and then he did it, or they released it at the same time. I don't know.
Okay.
It was around the same time.
That guy. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago when we were talking about covers. Yeah, getting CC'd. I respect it. But isn't that funny? Like, at that level, she's using covers in that way. Like, that's pretty wild. Oh, nice song you got there. It's mine now.
If that's your sign that you could make covers a thing for you, just make it your brand.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cece did it.
Get CC'd.
You might have to learn a few gospel chops, but that'll be on you.
But yeah, jump in. Just have it. Just take it. It's all yours. Annie, did anybody reach out about the Dev Awards yet? Or is it just you? It's because everybody wants to be on our Tuesday night calls, Annie.
Yeah.
This is the problem. I still think that night we need to have our first
Do an after party?
Yeah, after party.
A pre-party?
Pre
Probably
and
after.
post party.
Post party?
So that's
Not many.
what we're trying to figure out. We have this idea of starting to run ads, like ad campaigns, just to Nashville people as well, to try to build up the area a little bit more. So maybe we'll be able to pull that off. Yeah, you should.
Yeah, Gio, you should show the map
Show
here.
the map.
This is kind of what we're looking at with this.
Try the other one.
Yeah, the other
There you
one.
go.
Oh, I'm not plugging in.
Amateur hour.
Rookie mistake.
Amateur hour.
Take away all my gold stars.
All right.
This is what we're looking at. We actually have more kind of closer to Nashville than I thought.
It's definitely the biggest one.
The map is definitely filling out. We've got some people from Europe, Australia.
We're only targeting the U.S. and Canada now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to build this part of the network up. Because it's more fun if we have artists all over the U.S. Makes it a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huzzah. Well, I'll tell you what. We might as well do some intro stuff and then get rolling. Thanks for being here, everybody. First things first, if you are on your mobile device trying to do live, it's going to look like this. You aren't going to be able to see Joey or myself, so just keep that in mind if you're wanting to be able to see us both in frame and talk. That will have to be on desktop for these calls. So it looks like most of you probably are on desktop, so nice work. Number 2, is it next week, Joey? I think it's, yeah.
We're getting there.
Next week, Tuesday, the next call is going to be a mastermind with a guest speaker, Dr. Leslie Davis, focusing on internal work and finding your voice That should be a really good one. And I think what we're going to do is let her just kind of run the show for an hour, hour and a half, and then we'll have a section of questions after from everybody. So mark your calendars. It's the third thing. Feel free, guys, to drop your comments in the comment box for anything that you are wanting to talk about tonight. It could be problems you're working through, new ideas, things in the coursework. Could be a win. Maybe if you have had a breakthrough with something. Whatever it is, drop it in the comments, and we will, again, direct the conversation in that way. Did I miss anything?
Nope. I think we're all caught up.
Nothing new with the network that we need to discuss?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. Well then, let the fun begin. And if nobody has anything, I have come prepared with a few topics that may be good.
I'm allowed on this call this time from Aaron Shores. Yeah, we kicked him out of our Instagram live from earlier.
Joey really likes our Instagram lives just to be me and Joey. Really.
We prefer it.
We finally get someone live and he kicks him off. Oh, and yeah, so we're live on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube right now where they can hear us, not you guys, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Only people on the inside.
Okay. So if you are watching on any of those other platforms, you got to be in the school network to actually engage in the conversation and ask questions and all that. Cool. Well, maybe let's start with this. If nobody has anything pressing right now, what is your biggest challenge as an artist right now? What are you guys dealing with? What's the most challenging thing on your plate right now? Joey, what's the most challenging thing on your plate right now?
Sleep. Sleep is a challenge right now. What about you?
Oh, gosh.
Is it also sleep?
Yeah, probably.
Not sure if this is the time to ask this, but I messaged you guys about getting some advice about which songs I should keep or get rid of on my Spotify.
Yes, sir.
With my music shift.
Let's do it. Let's dive
go.
in. Let's pull up. Can you pull up Jason Knight's Spotify?
Night?
Night. Yep, I think that's the name he wanted to go with for his new sleep music direction. Did you get any more clarity, Jason, on the other name for the other brand? Not yet. Still playing around with it. Okay. Got you. Okay, well let me ask you this then. So are these like church Christian shows type stuff? Or are they more mainstream?
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
And the fall festivals are mainstream? Okay.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this, because this is a new variable
Yeah.
that we didn't talk about last time in regards to the brand changeover and everything. Do you anticipate the worship music causing you to not be able to get the gigs? The more worship music, Christian music that you release, do you anticipate that hurting your ability to get shows? Okay. 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 Yeah.
Yep.
Because the one thing that I would like to avoid for you then, if you thought this was going to be an issue, is you removing all of your non-Christian music to a different profile, and then they're like, "What? No, now we can't book you." Like, if that's a big deal, it's like that is an element of might be worth maybe delaying if that's the case. But if you don't think that's gonna like get in the way at all, then okay.
What percentage of your catalog is non-Christian that's on your current profile?
Smudgy. Oh, nice. I think you can easily keep the the Christmas music.
Yeah, you could definitely get away with that. The other thing too is like your mainstream album from 2011. It's kind of old enough and out of the way where I don't think it causes brand confusion. But if you could still keep the gigs that you have, because that's the one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to cut all of your funding. I mean, and if you want to build your mainstream brand, you can kind of go either way. That's what I'm looking at. It is from 2011, but you could also use it to build your other
The only
brands.
dilemma is that if he does want to run ads and start marketing that project again,
That's true. You wouldn't want to do that.
you're not going to want to do that under the same brand that you're doing with the Christian music. So
Yeah.
yeah, because what's going to happen is the worship music's going to take over regardless at this point, because you're running ads. That's where all the data is. You're not marketing the older music that isn't Christian music. And on top of that, like if we're looking at your fans also like, we're seeing that it's Christian music, worship artists, stuff like that. So that data is already taking over. So it's going to come down to the fact of, okay, do I like the other projects enough that someday I want to revive them and market them and grow playlists around them and let whatever that is? If the answer is yes, then you'll want to move those to make sure those are on a different profile because the data will compete. But if the answer is no and you're like, I'm just going to let those kind of just sit and only focus on worship going forward, you just aren't able to market them. That's the conundrum, is like, well, I can't really like push them and try to get more listeners and make the songs, worth money or get them heard, right? So that's kind of the dilemma there. Are you leaning towards one of those? Like, do you want to actively market these things right now? Yep. So there you go. Okay. Cool. Okay. Could we maybe we listen through a few of the ones that you are torn on? Like you're like, I don't know which way to go. Might not be the worst move. Can we? Are we able to do that where we can hear?
Yeah, are you able
audio?
to play it through your end if you were to like screen share?
Jason Day for the mainstream name. Annie coming in hot with the names. That's hilarious, actually. It does roll off the tongue nice, Jason Day. I'm thinking of other moments of the day, seeing if we could find something. We're about to find out. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Can everybody else hear this as well? It's coming through. This is definitely Christian. You can definitely keep this one.
Yeah, you can get away with that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. The ones lyrically that are you like singing to God, singing to Jesus, like you can tell lyrically directly where that's headed.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be fine. And any more that are like on the kind of on the edge that you're not sure about? That chorus just flipped Christian, yeah?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's CCM.
Yeah. So whenever, again, any point in the song when like, because I know that verse one is like, is it? I was just waiting for the cue. I'm like, is it to God or is it to just like a whatever, a romantic relationship or somebody else. Like the verse kind of could have gone either way, but the chorus sealed it as a CCM again. So anytime you're flipping it like that and it's going Christian, you can get away with it. You can push that thing as Christian. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so right there, you hear that thing flip? Yeah. Yeah, I would say same thing again. Same thing again. You can hear it, right? Though you can hear where it definitely shifts to a God human relationship type thing. Yeah.
Great.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Cause lyrically, yeah, those definitely are Christian CCM stuff like that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, and so for like again with these, there's enough bleed over. It's like it's not as big of a deal as if you were starting a sync pop brand that was like just feel good pop music, super like mainstream secular stuff. It's like when you start to get into that, you're like, oh, okay, this is opposite. Like this needs to be split. You've got enough room that you can work with here. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That was good. Great example.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Feature.
Okay. I guess I have a couple questions about it. Who owns the song? Who has control over it, the distribution and all that? Yeah. So do they, I guess to go a little bit deeper, do they own the master recording? Okay. Okay. I mean, if they're chill about it, they might as well add you as a co-primary. When they uploaded it, they may not have known about the co-primary feature.
Most don't know.
Most don't know.
No.
And so I'm assuming they would just need to re-upload the same song and also add you as a co-primary.
Yep.
And that would be the easiest and fastest way. If they're petty, then you might have to do something else. You said it's Mississippi, Mississippi Worship Collective.
I think they win the title for longest artist collective name.
Mississippi College Worship Collective. But it doesn't show up on your profile.
Because it's probably just a feature.
Yeah. So you can nowadays you can make a feature look like a co-primary because all the names are clickable.
Yeah. So like the name shows up there. It's like, cool, my name's on it. But if it's not under your profile, you're just a feature. Couple options. Was that under an album?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're able to just, for one song, you can look into this because we haven't had to mess with this in a long time, switching a feature to a primary collaborator because you can get up to 3 per song, co-primaries. You could do that wherever they uploaded this. I'm assuming it's probably like a DistroKid. So you could go into DistroKid and see if they're on the plan that would allow you to change a feature into a co-primary without having to pull the song and re-upload it entirely. The dilemma that you're going to run into is if you do end up having to pull that song and re-upload it entirely, well, then they have to do that for the entire album. And that little task just became a bigger task. So now you're going to have to convince them to spend a good amount of time and energy re-uploading it, and also they have to make sure that they get all the UPC codes and ISRC codes and the metadata correctly, and a lot of these groups aren't the most, let's say, organized, so they may not have the masters on hand in a nice folder that they can easily get to. They might have to go dig around, so it might turn into more of a hassle than what they're willing to do. Maybe if you're willing to step in and say, hey, I'll handle it all, I'll make sure it'll all work, they might be open to that. Yeah, that's probably the situation you're going to run into with it. You could potentially do that because you could ask them for the master, the song master, and the ISRC code. Because if you have those two things, you could technically upload it. It will still prioritize like any revenue or anything. I think that should still go to the original, yeah? I think that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, they wouldn't have to do anything. You could upload it solo to yours, and it should keep the same data. And if you market that, it should count for both of them because it's identical. That might actually be the move if you don't care about, because just thinking out loud here. Yeah, that might be the move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just making sure you get him to go into the DistroKid and take a screenshot of the exact ISRC code so that you can make sure that that is 100% accurate so that everything transfers. And then just making sure that it is the exact song master, length of time, all that stuff. Cool. Yeah, that'll be good. I like the way you're thinking though. Moving you like again, you might as well. There's a lot of worship collectives that we work with that we are constantly telling them, hey guys, like you might as well just co-primary the artist on it instead of making it a feature, because more often than not, people want to go back and have their song under their own profile. And it's like if you have artists that are singing that want to be artists, there's going to come a point where they're going to start to market and do the social media stuff and like promote the song. You might as well have them as a co-primary artist. So everything that we do is always, we just co-primary everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the right move, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great question. For anybody viewing on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, and you're thinking, I cannot hear the questions. That is because this is a network call tonight. And the point of the network call is that all the artists within the Anthem network get to ask their questions. And we like to allow them to remain anonymous, speak whatever they need to speak. And we just are letting you guys hear our responses. So there you go. Shout out to my sister who was watching it. She's like, I can't hear anybody on your podcast.
Oh,
I was
really?
Like, you don't get to. Mwahaha.
Take that, non-musician. Does she even do music?
She's great at cutting hair though.
Oh yeah, she cut my hair one time.
Yep.
She did a great job.
Shout out to you, Shannon.
Anybody else?
Any other challenges that you're working through right now?
What did we talk about when we were live earlier? They were
Money?
like, we should save this prompt. It was like a discussion question for the network call.
I have them all right in front of me.
Yeah. Which one? What are they?
I mean, there's a bunch. There's a lot of really good ones in here. If nobody else has anything, we're just gonna like keep the conversation flowing.
What you should have known or what you wish you would have known.
Oh, that's a good one too. Let me see if I
I think
can
it might have
find
been
it.
that one.
And go for it. You aren't gonna like what I have to say, but it's not what you think. I think I wouldn't even focus on changing the past cover art right now. I'd focus on the future. Because I'm looking at this right now, like, I don't see anything wrong with this stuff.
Let me ask you this. What don't you like about the album artwork?
Yeah. Are there any
What-
in particular?
What is bothering you about your...
Very, very bottom. I don't.
Are you frozen?
Nope. I'm here. Oh, there you go.
We got it both on the screen, and I thought it was your screen that we were sharing. So I was like, why is it not moving? Okay.
I don't hate that. Oh, who's that? Who's that blonde girl? Maybe we need to get her removed. I'd probably. Oh, oh, that's Annie. Okay, maybe we'll keep Annie. I don't hate any of these. You know, but here's the thing, though. You're always gonna think that as the artist. I mean, there's projects that we could look back on too and be like, not our best album artwork.
Yeah, if you just don't look at it, you won't see it. This might. I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but is the album artwork, is that the biggest constraint right now?
This is a good
for you.
This is a good conversation
For Spark Music as a whole brand. Is this the biggest constraint?
It's like an Instagram feed as well, where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I want all the things to match and everything, and because of that, I'm not going to post frequently because I'm being too picky with it. And then you're like, well, the algorithm's just not going to support you now because you're not giving it enough. I would agree with you where you're taking this.
I mean, it looks like you have a ton of singles here. You might be able to, it depends on the vibe of these songs, but once you have enough songs and you start combining into EPs or albums, then maybe just worry about one album artwork, like one really good one.
Meaning, let's say you decide to go to all of these past songs and you're like, I'm going to put them all into one album. And when that album is uploaded everywhere and it's accessible on all the streaming platforms, I'm going to go back through and I'm just going to remove all of the singles. So now you can only find them through the new album. And that new album will have your shiny, perfect album artwork. And that's all you'll be able to find. Well, this would probably be an album too, because it.
Yeah, it depends on the vibe, but you definitely have enough for an album.
Mm-hmm. You do it with
If
EPs
they all,
as well.
if they all match your sound.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you only have to worry about one new album artwork
Mm-hmm.
for those, or EP artwork.
And now you're just going to deal with the same thing that we've kind of been talking with Jason and Jacob about, is that just make sure you're getting all the ISRC data in the exact masters. And then when you go to do that, just make sure to plug that in and it should keep all that listener data for you. But yeah, that would solve the problem. But again, you know, like for what Joey is leaning towards is like the way that we're kind of thinking about this is like, well, what else is there that might be the higher priority that pushes the needle forward right now? Because if they're old songs and they aren't getting as much streaming support anyways, it's like most people aren't seeing them anyways. So you're the one that knows that they exist and you're the one that can see them. It's probably going to bug you more as the artist and the brand than anybody else. So you could look at that as more like a victory lap thing, like get the brand big enough that enough people are seeing them that you then need to care. You know, it's like, let's get some really big playlists grown that are supporting the music so much that the songs are getting streamed consistently. Now it's like, okay, enough people are seeing it now. I've kind of like earned the right to go back and focus on that for a week here and get that cleaned up. But again, it's up to you. You get to make the call. So if this is keeping you up at night, Annie, now you have a solution. Just drop them in like a cover worship EP. Yeah, that'd solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I put that in there for the Annies. I knew it. Sweet.
But yeah, just to tie a nice bow on the whole thing, and this is for everybody to think about. If there was one thing, if you got it right now, it would change. It would basically take all of your other artist problems. It would solve those. So like, if one thing were true, what's another way to think about it is what businesses call it your bottleneck. What is my bottleneck right now in the business? For some of us, it's like, I need to figure out Facebook ads and figure out how to grow playlists. And once I figure that out, then my streams open up and now I can throw all my music. For some people, I need to figure out funding. If you can identify that and just figure that one thing out, everything else unlocks. So I can give an example for us. With everything that we do, we've had the record label, we've had the marketing agency. We're trying to grow this Anthem network. The Anthem network for us is the unlock that affects everything else and makes everything else easier. So definitely think about that this week. If you can't identify that one thing, you really need to sit down and do that, because it'll give you tons of focus and clarity.
Don't underestimate that. That is wildly powerful. It's like, oh, if you can lock that thing in and crush it, it opens up so many doors and opportunities. One great one, if you're not like us and you have like a network and a community that you're growing. So let's just say you're a solo artist. One great one, oftentimes, guys, is high Spotify monthly listeners. Why? Because then everybody goes there, and it's, again, guys, this music business, this entertainment industry, because it is a form of entertainment, it's all smoke and mirrors. You are just as valuable now as you will be later on, or you were previously, right? We're talking inherent value. But now let's say you have 100,000 monthly listeners. Now, for better or for worse, people are going to take you more seriously. They're going to throw you more opportunities. They're going to say, hey, we want to have you out for the show. Maybe you get to charge a little bit more for the shows. Why? Because you have 100,000 monthly listeners. People want to collaborate more, stuff like that. In our experience, Spotify was the thing we focused on primarily right away, because we just saw the writing on the wall. We said, if we can get our streaming numbers up, it leads to the next opportunity. It lets us to get into doors and rooms. Doors open up into rooms that we couldn't previously get into because it didn't take us seriously. And it's kind of like a tip of the cap. Like when you see another artist at a certain amount of monthly listeners, you know that there's some mutual respect between you two, because you know how much work it takes to pull something like that off. It just leads to more opportunities. So for you guys, I'd be thinking, man, can I master Spotify? And what that would mean is, okay, I'm gonna go through the Spotify course. I'm gonna learn exactly how Spotify works. Then I'm gonna go to the meta ads course, and I'm gonna learn how to grow my own playlists, and I'm gonna double down on that stuff for a while and increase those pieces of leverage. Because even guys, like, let me ask you this. Let's say you're approached by two artists who want to collaborate with you. They're the same size as you. Let's say, for this first analogy, one of them has a playlist that tons of people listen to in your space. Let's say it's got 25,000 followers and it is streamed like crazy, and you know that song that you collaborate on is going to be placed on that playlist long term. Which artists are you more excited to work with? Assuming kind of equal relationship across the board. Playlist. Yeah. Playlist artists. Okay. Now let's say it's not a playlist, but one of the artists has 50,000 monthly listeners and one has 3,000 monthly listeners. Who are you more excited? It doesn't matter if it makes logical sense, or even if you know if the song is going to perform better or not. Who in your mind are you convinced is a better opportunity? Removing all relationships and everything. It's the one with the more monthly listeners. Just think about that at scale now. Another great comparison is my band Punch Parade in the sync space. Nobody would... Let me say this. There's a sync company called MusicBed. It's like a very exclusive sync, micro sync company that everybody wants to work with and get their music in, because it's a great way to make money from your music. I spent like a year trying to get that deal locked in. And it wasn't until the monthly listeners went up to like 45,000 monthly listeners that they finally let us in. Nothing really changed about anything with the music. It's still the same songs. It's still the same everything, except now there is the impression that, wow, 45,000 people are listening to this, monthly listeners every month. It must have an audience. They must be growing. They must be worth prioritizing because they're trying, they're doing stuff, they're actually putting in effort. Whereas it might be different, whether it's true or not. They might look at the smaller artists and be like, they're not putting enough effort, or like, we don't know that they're actually doing this and like locked into to do this. Does that make sense, guys? It's not always what you want to hear per se, but it's just the game of music, and this translates into the game of life as well. Wouldn't you say? Just in general.
Yeah, and the core thought process is, how do I provide value to other people at the end of the day? What do I have in my control, my skills, my artistry, my following on Spotify or social media? How can I use this to benefit other people? And that will point you in the right direction, which hopefully it points you right back to the classroom with all of the courses and stuff in there, because we're always trying to build you up to give you more skills that makes you more dangerous and more valuable to other people. So
like knife skills, making
knife
more dangerous.
skills, we're going to have
teach on
that.
knife
We're going to have
skills
some
and
hand-to-hand combat.
bow and arrow shooting skills.
Yeah. So
Derailed.
yes, you did. Yeah. So we build your skills and then when you build your skills, your brands will grow, and then your brands will appear more valuable, smoke and mirrors, to other artists. And that's how we do things. So, and we don't ever try to punch necessarily, going back to the physicality of
People
it.
in the face.
We never try to punch outside of our weight class.
It's how.
Huh?
I said we try not to punch people in the face.
Correct. Yeah.
You're giving me so many opportunities to just derail.
I know. Yeah. So what does that mean? It's like, if we were as Mass Anthem, we're going to go try to collaborate with Elevation Worship.
We're not in a place to pull that off right now.
We're going to have some real creative leverage to pull that off.
Usually
That's kind of how it is.
that type of play might look like a check with a number written on it.
So you got to really know somebody well, and there's not, the thing is, like, the higher you go, the less that the higher players really need anything from anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
When you're starting out, you need funding, you need opportunities, you need co-writes, you need all, but it's like, as they progress, they're like we've even had conversations with bigger artists, not Elevation, but they're like, what we're doing is already working. Like, why would we collab?
Why would we stop?
Like, why would we stop what we're doing and go collab?
We won't say the artist, but they're a very reputable CCM artist, and they get a ton of Christian radio support, like all the time, hit songs, all that stuff. We met with their manager at a coffee shop, and we were just playing around with ideas. They're like, "Yeah, that's cool. Like, it makes sense. Like, everything you're pitching us, like, makes sense. It's logical. But why would we replace a solo song that we keep 100% of with a collaboration song that we don't? And it doesn't matter how it's going to perform. It doesn't matter what you include or anything. That's their mindset. And they happen to be playing the game where they like to release a song, market it, get it to go big, and then sell it next year and take a 10-year estimated profit and go do it again. That's their game. And that's just how they're playing. But even still, it's like, why we don't really need to do this. So why would we? Oh, okay. Well, for them, it might come down more to relationships, that sort of thing.
And honestly, that's kind of a world that you want to be in as a creative. Like, if you're not feeling it, you shouldn't have to feel compelled to collaborate at all or work with people at that point. I feel like if you're not operating out of necessity, I think you've won at that point.
Sounded like Annie was going to say something. Yeah. We're in talks. We've got some stuff that we're working on right now. Some deals with some larger artists, we'll say, but even still, it's like it's just a different game. It becomes more relational, and yeah, it's kind of funny, and it also is interesting too. You, from maybe where you're at right now, looking at us with our numbers and being like, wow, like they've made it. They can do anything they want. But then there's artists above us where we are looking at them and saying, wow, they've made it. They can actually do anything that they want. And it's funny how the game is still sort of the same when you start in the middle.
It's the same game, the same mindsets. It's just the numbers are different. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, we're trying to help, going back to our roadmap, we're trying to help you guys readjust your mindset, because that applies at all stages.
So, and let me jump in and say this too. When you start to get higher and higher up into the game, what we're realizing is that, well, oftentimes it's a money game. It's a funding game. If you start to like have numbers, okay, yeah, you have a million monthly listeners, awesome. But if you go look at what the funding is behind a group like Elevation, you know, the number one, the church that they have supporting them. But at this point, the catalog and like the revenue generates, like it's a different game. We're familiar with other groups as well that have very much shortcutted themselves into very successful careers and tours and everything. Because why? They had funding to a point where they could write a blank check, essentially. Like, what do you want? We want to collab. Like, and obviously there has to be a relationship there. But it's easier at that level to like pull that off, which is why, again, like right now our focus is, okay, we're going to grow the network really, really big and give as much value to all the artists as we possibly can in the process where, okay, now we can build up more funding, because when we do reach out to a bigger artist like that, we want to make the deal so good and make so much sense that it's hard to say no to it, or harder to say no to it. And like one example would be like, dude, could you imagine being like, oh yeah, also, let's tack on a giant marketing package for free. We're not going to recoup it, you know? We'll throw $10K at this thing or something. Like something where you're like, oh, wow. You just sweeten the pot. What are you thinking?
I don't know.
All the above?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we haven't really broken that down. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, all the above.
I don't think we really have broken down at all, like our label structure or anything to you guys.
You're like, we're like, great question. So anybody else moving on? We just never answer it.
Yeah.
No, this is good. There's a couple things. When we are encouraging you guys to continue to collaborate with one another, you're probably not at the place yet to be functioning as your own record label of sorts. There's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes. But what we're always recommending is, number one, collaborate. Why? Co-primary collaborations, where the song is going to appear under your profile and their profile, with a similar artist, bigger artist, whatever, because you're sharing audiences. You release that song, you get a little bit of their audience. They get a little bit of your audience. You do that again with a different artist. You get a little bit of their audience. They get a little bit of yours. Do that over and over and over and over and over. It's kind of a way to shortcut the process of you having to go and build all these audiences yourself, by yourself, solo. Okay, how long is that going to take? As opposed to, maybe my strategy is building relationships and networking and getting those things to lead into collaborations, hopefully with bigger artists, where we can now share audiences. Hey, is Leslie Davis on? Leslie? Shout out. Let's see if she... I think she just made a... Welcome. I know... Is this the first one? This first one you're making it on? Okay. Welcome. I had to quick shout you out. I was like, is that Leslie? All right.
Sweet.
Awesome. Oh, that's going to be fun. Leslie, are we still good for next Tuesday? Having you speak? Fantastic.
Okay. Looking
Bummer.
forward to it.
Bummer. That was what we were hoping for, though. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, it's good talking to you.
So, Amy,
to finish up with Amy.
Back to the record label. So, how we have been functioning the last few years, we don't function like a traditional record label. A traditional record label would be like, hey, artist, love to sign you. Here's 50 grand. We'll throw at you as a loan or an advance, and we'll sign the next 3 albums. And we'll do 3 albums together, and if we get through 1 album and we didn't like how the process went, we could drop you. That's how the traditional... Did I miss anything? Oh, also the other thing too is we have to recoup all of that money that we lent you off of the streams. And if we never recoup off of that, you actually owe us that money.
Yeah, so that's like a traditional label, right? A traditional label in the sense that they're a bank. Number one, they're going to lend money. A label really is, think about it like 3 things. It's a bank. It is
A network.
And it is also, we can call it a
system.
marketing, like system marketing agency. Where,
Yep.
And we could throw touring in there, but it's like you are paying. You might say, well, I'm not paying. Well, in a way you are if you're taking the loans and like you're taking the deal in a way that you are paying to be a part of a machine where you kind of get dropped in, and now it's not, oh, I have to go do XYZ myself to get this thing to work. No, it's the whole thing's ready to go. They can set you on the conveyor belt, and now you can move through the conveyor belt. All right, let's make the songs. Going to our producers, going to our mixers, masters, our writers. Okay, now you're ready for the new rebranding and everything. Okay, now we're ready for the marketing strategy that we're going to put you in the room with all the right people, and now we're going to put you on tour and like all this stuff. You're kind of signing for that, for the ease of all the different things that are included. That really is what a record label.
And here's how they think too.
Is-
They're basically just a giant pool of money. And what they do is they say, all right, I'm going to sign Leslie, Amy, Annie, Jacob, Jason, Diana,
yes.
Jason
Yeah.
2, and Juan and Aaron. And I ran out of space. I don't know who else is past there. 9 people.
He left one person out.
I wanted to get to 10. But 2 out of the 10 people as the label, I expect are actually going to be successful. The rest of you guys are going to be in debt. You're not going to recoup your money. And we
So-
might even drop you.
So, okay, actually think about this because we're being real with you. We've talked with other people, other labels, like heard what's actually going on behind the scenes. Want to know something wild? Who did we talk about this with? At the end of the year, some of these labels, guys, they will have their accountants come to them and say, hey, so here's the deal. We got to burn through like $8 million. Some of these bigger labels, like, we got to get rid of $8 million or else we're going to get smacked with taxes and we have to give it back. So what they will do then is they will go to some of the artists that have been sitting on the shelf that they weren't ready to sign yet, and they'll make them a deal. The artist signs, they write it all off. So now instead of giving that money back to the government, they are putting it into projects, and they don't even care if they do well. They just had to get rid of the money.
You guys are the write-off. And a lot
about
of the
that.
times they don't care who ends up being successful. They just know that their numbers and their odds are 2 out of the 10 are going to do well.
And they only
The
need
rest,
that.
and the rest of you, that's the deal that you guys signed. So
Yeah.
in a way,
Well-
the traditional labels are just sitting on a lot of money, and they know their numbers really well, and they're pretty much gambling with people's livelihoods, like entire careers that they're gambling on. That is how the traditional label works.
Yep. And so here's the funny thing, guys, is from the perspective of the artist, now you're thinking, holy smokes, I made it. I just got signed. I got the record deal. I'm calling my parents. I'm calling my family. I'm calling my friends. I'm having a party. We're going to have a signing party. Hooray. And don't get me wrong, for a lot of deals, not saying they're all like this, guys. Some of the deals are great. Some of them are, they actually want to go all in on you and invest in you. But some of these bigger guys, it's a write-off. It's just like, oh no, we know that we have to throw enough darts to find the one that actually hits, and we're going to go all in on that one and shelve the rest. And it's kind of a bummer. This is why we teach so much about learning to build yourself, learn all these skills, market yourself so that you can be the one in charge of your career, not having to depend on everybody else. Because, well, if you have to depend on everybody else, if they decide you're the thing they're investing on and you're like, wow, this is awesome, and then that project doesn't hit and it's, let's call it 200K in the hole, they might say, hey, we don't want to take another shot on you. Shelved. Now what do you do?
Also, you can get punished for doing well, for being successful. Let's say you sign a 3-album deal with them and your first album crushes. Like hit sensation, global, on radio charts, you're touring all over the place, and they don't let you release another album for the next 5 years. Like,
why? Why?
Because your first album is crushing and the label doesn't want you to release another album or more music to hurt.
Yeah, they'll compete. They don't want you to compete.
To compete with the album that's crushing.
Same with radio. If you have a song that crushes on radio and it's in rotation, they don't want you to release another one because it might compete and pull that other one off. And that other one, they know how much work and effort and money and time that their team had to put in to get that thing to happen. They don't want to risk it. So now it's like you might be playing the same album for a long time at all your shows and like just running that thing. I do think it's worth clarifying though, Amy, because you were asking about like how we're doing things, because our business looks very, very different than this model.
And the reason why I brought that up is because we knew all that information into starting our own record deals and stuff, and so that is the basis of what we actually, the original band Mass Anthem, signed to. Those types of deals, the traditional deal.
Yeah.
And so we have some context to go off of and how we've changed that for our stuff.
So let's flip it now to what we're doing, where we are not actively right now going out and signing artists to solo projects. We're signing artists to collaborations with us and our brands. Why? Because we are fully incentivized to get these things to do well as much as they are. This isn't, we have to quick get rid of money. We're going to sign you, and if it flops, it was a write-off. And we signed you to 3 albums, and now you're stuck. And a lot of these deals that we do are, one-off deals, and if they make sense, then we circle back. We do another one. Oh, it still made sense for everybody? Okay, cool. Maybe we do another one. Now, it's not to say that eventually we won't get to the point of signing artists to projects that are released under them as a solo artist, because that really is part of the goal of getting there. That being said, we are not interested in structuring our deals in a way where it's like slavery, legal, creative artist slavery, because it's what a lot of these deals are once you really get into the fine print.
And here's our thought process right now. Why, right now, with the funding and where everything's at, why would we sign individual artists when we can just sign collaboration deals to collaborate with brands that are already established so that we can guarantee results instead of
win, yeah.
taking a shot on an individual artist with an individual project? We can bring that project into the brand and the collective that we have that already has an audience, and we can guarantee that. That is something that a lot of these labels don't have. The only option, the only other thing though, is churches like Elevation and Bethel are already doing this. They are essentially their own label,
Yeah.
And they can get anybody off the ground, any worship leader, any artist, by bringing them into their current brand that they already have.
Here's a great example. Brandon Lake really
Blew
did,
up Graves and Gardens, I think.
launched off Elevation, and then he ran and did his own solo thing. That was just a collaboration deal for that one project, right? And now he's free to go do his own thing.
They keep bringing him back
He might
because
have
crushes.
signed other stuff under their publishing division or distribution or something like that. But for the sake of this conversation, like, yeah, we'll call it a collaboration deal. And then he runs off. Oh, he wants to come back. It makes sense. Everybody still makes sense for everybody. Okay, come do it again. That's really, we think that's the better way to do it these days for where we are at. And it's, again, we're incentivized to win, to try hard, to work hard on the projects. So are the artists. And think of a label as well, Amy, as they typically have publishing built in. Otherwise, the artist has to go set that up and like figure all that out, make sure you're claiming everything. So, okay, that's built in. Distribution is built in. Of course, the marketing, oftentimes revenue to pay for stuff is built in. It's just a one-stop shop, like an Amazon shopping cart. I want this, click, boom, paid. That makes sense. Does that give you a little clearer picture? Sleep deprivated. That's how we're functioning. Yep. And most don't talk about this. And most record labels that are record labels, they aren't doing this because they're not actually artists themselves, and they don't have the artist brands and everything built up typically to be able to pull this off. So like we as Mass Anthem, we're able to do this because we'll collaborate it with Mass Anthem and like we'll work on the project and we have a brand to bring to the table. And then Anthem Worship, now we bring these two things, and then, now the label has all these other relationships and opportunities. Like we bring all that to the table, and now we can do that in a way that's different from the typical industry. The other thing too is, guys, the larger that the network gets, the more fun this is going to get, because we have brands that are built to collaborate with lots and lots of artists at scale via writers events. But we realized we need more artists in the network that want to be involved, specifically more artists even in the area that we're throwing these events and everything. So we hit pause on that so we can build up the network, build relationships, build opportunities, train everybody to make sure everybody's on the same page regarding how does the music business work? What are the strategies? What are branding moves I need to make? Like now everybody gets to know how the thing works, and then we're going to flip the switch again. So y'all are early, and then we're going to take over the world.
If there was one thing that if it was true, it would make all the other things better. Our writers events, our in-person events, the amount of songs we release, the artists that we get to know personally. That was the other issue. We would collab with artists that we didn't really know that well, and you didn't really get to, over a handful of weeks, you don't really get to know people that well or how they operate. Could you imagine if we had our entire blueprint just available for artists to where if they applied all of this knowledge and were on the same page as us, wouldn't that be the best type of collaborations we could ever get?
I would say yes. Earlier when you said the one thing that makes everything else better, the word guacamole popped into my mind.
Guacamole.
Makes Chipotle order much better. Makes everything better.
Caffeine, sugar.
Yes. We got some questions. Can you collaborate on songs already released or only new songs? Ideally, only new songs. You can technically, if you wanted to, remove the old song and re-upload it as a collaboration, but it's not a lot there unless you wanted to like try to market that thing, I would always focus on collaborating on new songs. I'm going to keep scrolling up here. Jacob Hall, update. My teacher just sent me the master. And then further down he said, and he just got the ISRC. Fantastic. That's quick.
He's making deals while we're on the call.
Guys, this is what I'm talking
He's
about.
out here hustling.
Y'all, like, you know what the right move is. All you got to do is do it, you know? He pulled that off in the time of this call. That's pretty impressive. That's fair.
There you go.
That's fair. So now the plan is you just got to go re-upload it, and then that single will appear solo under Jacob Hall, and it'll have the same ISRC, the same data, and everything. So the songs should stay linked up. Sweet. What else we got in these? Oh, Amy's almost done with the Spotify course. Let's go. How are you enjoying it? A+.
Wow.
Wow. Somebody clip that right now. What? Let me ask you this, Amy. Was there any revelations that hit you going through it? Or like, oh, this makes so much more sense now? There's a lot.
It's a lot of talking.
So in between the tiers, feel free to make a community post. We won't make you cry it out alone. Joey will cry with you.
Yeah.
No, we'll offer some answers. Yep. And spoiler alert, it works.
It worked for us.
Well, and it's fun even seeing like Aaron's playlist breaking 1,000 followers now. AJ just started his playlist last night, and it's already up 30, 40 new followers now. He's only spent like $10 on it. It works. Like, this absolutely works. Amy, when you were saying once you're done with it, figuring out how much money to spend, what do you mean by that?
In the Spotify course?
Amy, I'm sorry to disappoint, but that does not exist in our curriculum. Hopefully that brings you a little peace. Sorry to disappoint the nightmare that you're hoping for. It's that might be worth, us breaking down somewhere in another course too when we get into budgets. Did you just, sorry to hit pause a sec, did Trace just appear for a second?
Ridgecrest.
Are you at the show, dude?
It's not a show, it's camp.
Oh, you got it. Are you in it right now? Okay, guys, Trace just got the new van. Dude, van tour? Oh my gosh, this Sprinter is really cool, guys. No, that's big.
That's sick.
This is a clean van. Guys, look at this thing.
That's sick.
Dude.
It's
Xbox.
dope.
Dude. Worth it.
For those of you who don't know, Trace recently did a grind of a fundraiser to
Yep.
get that sucker.
Yeah, explain how you pulled this off, dude. Yep. Heck yeah. Huge, bro. Nice. Yep. Yep. Dude, that's huge.
Awesome.
What a clean van. Look at
I
that
know,
thing.
that's sick.
The fully reclining seats. For sure.
Heck yeah.
Respect, dude. No, we saw you flash on the screen. It's like, dude, did he get it? He got it. That's so dope. Well, congrats, bro.
Sweet. Appreciate it.
Killing snakes. In typical Trace-like fashion. Cool, dude. All right, we'll talk later,
See you
man.
later.
Okay. How about that van, guys? That is,
Sick.
that changes the touring game substantially.
Riding in style.
It almost beats Travis. Dude. There's so much space.
Yep.
I'm just thinking of
So
room for so many activities.
Yeah, that's so much room for activity.
So many activities. Where did we cut off right before that? I think we were talking with Amy about money and where to spend and
She wants to pay us money.
pay me and Joey $5,000. Yep.
Yeah, she's looking for a reason to spend $10,000.
Yeah,
well,
that's-
we're $10,000 to
Yep,
to have
done.
a
Perfect.
strategy call.
That's kind of what it seems like a lot of these courses are built like, though. It's like, all right, so where's the catch?
Yeah, are you waiting for like a catch? Like,
Where's
are you saying like
the
a webinar or
thing?
something?
Yeah. Yep. No, but here's the thing. What it's going to cost you is it's completely up to what is relevant for you and your situation. And it's also going to, I'll tell you what it will cost you. It's going to cost you some time and sweat equity, learning these skills, applying yourself, right? Kind of putting in this hard foundational work. It's going to cost you that. Obviously, once you start to learn how to grow playlists, for example, you're going to have to invest money into paying Meta to run Meta ads to grow the playlist, basically exchanging the money for the followers and the listeners. That's another spot that you can spend money, but yeah, it's going to be completely dependent on.
We're
on
basically
your
a
situation.
gym, a fitness gym for artists. It's like, well, we'll supply all the machines and the trainers and the information, but I think the hardest part is you're gonna have to show up and do it.
You got to show up and do it.
That's the only way through it.
That's a good analogy. Nope. Start slow.
It's not if you know what you're doing with the meta ads.
Yeah.
Which if you just follow what we tell you, those are the exact
And
steps.
start slow with it too. We're not expecting you to go drop crazy amounts of money on your meta ads right away.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I would start slow and make sure you learn the skill and you see results, and then you slowly start to improve it, increase the budget. Aaron, what did you start with on your meta ads, dude? Daily. Yeah, for the playlists. What'd you start with early on when you started? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now what are you up to? 10, 15 maybe daily? 7? Okay. Cool. Yeah. And you feel more confident with it now because you know it works. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Jason Knight. I've been spending 10 a day, 300 a month on my Spotify conversion campaign. I've gone from 11 monthly listeners to over 2,000 in a little over 3 weeks. Nice work, dude.
Sweet.
Is that going directly to the single and not a playlist still? Okay, so he's running these directly to a song. And that, by the way, that's going to be the second half of the meta ads course that we will eventually be adding in. AJ is another artist in the group, and he just made a couple posts about this in the community section. Really good, talking about this stuff if you want to go look at it and just observe what we're talking about. But with him, he was asking the same thing. Hey, I think I want to start also running meta ads directly to the songs so that I can start to build all these other high intent metrics besides just getting playlist streams. Like, yes, that's actually the goal for us to get to. But first, we wanted to make sure that you guys had a way to grow all of your music at one time with one budget, because that's the best, as you say, bang for the buck. But that will be coming in the future at some point. Yeah, you did. Oh, it's in the course.
Yep.
Did you find the spreadsheet, Aaron? 6 cents per click. Okay, now, have you run per click is good. Have you run how much it's costing per conversion? Okay. It's got to be tier 3. Is that tier 3 that's really? Okay. And that's a campaign that you've built up quite a bit of data on already. Yeah.
1173. What is that? Is that a follow?
Total number of saves on the.
Oh, total number of saves.
Yeah, he's got over 1,100 followers now, which is huge, dude. You only need one playlist, guys. You only need one big playlist to really hit and market your whole catalog. Like it's a game changer. And the beautiful thing about it is then in between releases, if you aren't releasing more music, guess what? Your whole catalog, the music is still finding new listeners and still being marketed. The marketing never has to stop. Granted, it's great to do big pushes on new projects, and like a lot of artists still work with us and use our playlist network to do big pushes on new things. But wouldn't it also be nice that when that stuff ends, there is still this thing going on in the background that just keeps kicking off data and streams that you can always count on because it's real estate that you own, that you don't have to rent? That's leverage.
By the way, if we were purely a marketing company like a lot of these other playlisters, we would not be telling you this
We
information.
wouldn't tell you any of this. Guys,
Like the marketers, that if that's their one job, they would not be telling you this information.
No, they want you are replacing their work. Like that's the thing.
They don't want you to know how to grow playlists.
We know a lot of other marketing agencies in the space that they will not teach you this because that kills their business model. You are the renter in their apartment, so to speak. And the second you learn how to build your own apartment to rent to other people or to just live out of, it's like you don't need them anymore. Catching up on comments here. A little bit about guac. Any other thoughts on this, guys, with the meta ads? I will say this. AJ's hardest part about the thing was setting up his conversion event. For those of you that know, that's typically the trickiest part, but we went through pretty painstaking detail to make sure we covered everything.
I think the number one thing with that is just don't panic when it doesn't show up right away.
Yeah. If you panic, you literally have a community to ask us questions, and then we will help you.
That's the saying of the meta ads course. Don't panic. Just keep going. You're almost there.
Keep the bigger picture in mind. You need this. Yeah, we pretty much just try to put you through a therapy session at the same time we teach you meta ads. It's great. And by the way, we didn't have that back when we were learning. So instead, Joey and I actually panicked a lot. And we had to learn a lot of mistakes. Let me say this too. Have any of you taken Andrew Southworth's meta ads course? Okay, Jason, you have. That doesn't surprise me because you already hit the ground running in here. Was it the easiest thing that you've ever done going through that course? Terrible. Yes. Nice. Fantastic. Yeah. But let me ask you this too, though. From an artist creative personality standpoint, do you feel like that course was set up in a way where the average creative artist was just going to be able to go through it and just win? No. And the amount of things we had to figure out and piece together on our own. And then of course he doesn't teach you the playlist growth strategies or anything like that. We figured that out on our own. And like all this stuff we had to figure out on our own. So, it looked like Amy is bouncing. See you later, Amy. Good talking. Glad we got some questions in. So guys, like when we went through this, the amount of revisions that we put into our meta ads course was just painstaking because everything that we did, we're like, is this at like a 5th grade understanding level where anybody can know exactly what to talk about? It's like, can we put it in a step-by-step thing that answers all of the questions along the way where you don't have to keep making assumptions? Oh, this didn't get answered, so now I have to think for myself and like try this. So like Aaron, that spreadsheet that we put together is our version of a very, very, very overly complex thing that he created. I think I probably ended up spending close to 10 hours completely reworking it of what we built for ourselves and then seeing if there was anything valuable in like his type of spreadsheet and like putting it together. So when I tell you like, do you know how much it costs per conversion for follower for the playlist as opposed to just what your cost per result is? You definitely want to know that, and you'll figure that out because that spreadsheet that we gave you has a formula in there, and it will tell you if you plug the information in, hey, here's what my cost per result is, here's how much I'm spending, here's how much I'm actually getting per follower. Because you might be like, whoa, I'm getting like 18 cents a click. It's like awesome, but then you go in and you're like, bro, Indonesia is down to like 0.05 cents and everybody's clicking on it and nobody's converting. So it's actually costing you like 60 cents a conversion for a follower. And then you're like, oh, that's actually not very good at all. We got to improve that. So that's the whole point of this spreadsheet.
I can give you guys another example for our meta ads for the school group because it works the same way. You might find out that a certain location is clicking the button and going to your Spotify, but they're not the ones following. Ideally, in a perfect world, you'd be able to track a lot of that stuff, but in our course for the meta ads and Spotify, there's no great way to track everything, which is why you have to manually track cost per follow and do that calculation.
Yep.
But for us, for the school group, for the network, we're running ads on it right now, and we were running tier 1 countries. So for those of you who don't know, tier 1 are the countries that have the most buying power. It'd be like US, Canada, Australia, UK.
Japan,
Yeah, Japan. So what we ended up finding out was we were, for example, marketing to a lot of outside countries in Europe and Australia and even some Asian countries. And we would have a lot of people from Europe join the school group, and they wouldn't complete the free trial, and they wouldn't even stay.
Yeah.
And
We're like, why did you sign up?
we would go through the list because they would join and the card would get declined, or they would immediately want to leave. And I'm like, okay, there might be something here. And so we found out that information by looking at the map and looking at people like, wait, all of these people who are canceling, like they're in Europe. And the people that end up staying are the Christian artists in
the US,
in the US, Canada. So we're like, what if we carved out, and instead of targeting Europe or some of these other countries where it seems to be common that people are leaving and not understanding the Anthem network, what if we just target those people? So you have to start to think that way. And when you track every step of the way with your clicks, cost per follow, you need to be able to dissect where people are dropping off. And that's where people are dropping off for our school group.
USA, and Canada. Not taking away Canada, Sylvia. She's
Canadians.
She's in here. If we just kicked out all the Canadians, that would. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. We won't do that yet.
Maybe a Lenny, though.
No, kick out a Lenny. Hey, she didn't make it on the call. This is what happens.
We can make fun of her.
This is what happens. AJ commented, shout out to you, bro, that you're on this call. Sweet. He said, bro, it was difficult, but I had to have patience. Talking about the meta ads setup when it came to the custom conversion events. Had to lock in, troubleshoot, ended up working out. J&J plus ChatGPT is undefeated. Thank you. And the thing is, too, dude, yours was a little trickier because you chose a landing page service that we haven't used, so we didn't actually show the conversion event for it. So I think you chose Submit Hub. Is he on here? Maybe he hopped off. Is Jay on here? He hopped off? Okay. But yeah, he chose Submit Hub. I would encourage you guys to choose a Hyped It or a Feature FM for your landing page service. That is what we teach on like in depth. And it also, for example, like Feature FM lines up with our whole social media strategy where we're teaching you guys how to build like future saves and email lists and stuff like that. That all lines up really nicely together. So just keep that in mind. We have another question that is going to, well, this might stay on topic here. This is Juan's. What up, bro? He says, hey guys, so if I have 11 songs and 3 of them became way more listened to than the others, should I put all my money on promoting those and forget about advertising the other ones? That's a great question. Solid question. Well, let me ask you this. What have you done to market all of the music total so far? If you're down to hop in and chat a little bit. Yeah, man. What have you done to market those 11 songs so far? Okay. Yep. Great. Did you release? So you're saying 11 are released total right now? Okay. Okay. Yep. Gio, can you toss me the screen a sec? Cool. Okay. I'm going to use an example here for my group Punch Parade. So this is like a sync pop group, just like a kind of mainstream thing. For example, early on when we started releasing the music, all the songs were kind of like at the same level, just early on, like you'd expect with any artist, like not getting a ton of traffic or anything. And I took the time to try and test pretty much all of the songs with meta ads and like using different parts of the songs and all of that. And eventually, after I tested out with the budget for a while, I found that one of the songs was rising to the top, and that was Look at Me Now. And that thing's save rate was like double or triple the rest. It was being added to way more playlists, and the organic streaming rate was significantly higher than all of the rest. And it finally got to the point where I was like, okay, screw it. I'm just going to promote this one now that I've already tested to see if there was a better one available. There was not. So then going forward for probably a year and a half, I only ran ads using Look at Me Now as the song. So if I ran a playlist growth campaign to grow a playlist, guess what song was playing in the background? Look at Me Now. And then if I was running an ad directly to the song profile, or to the song on Spotify, or to even my like artist profile, guess what song I was using, right? Look at Me Now, because I already had the proof on it. And once I identified that was the biggest one, then I started to try different sections of the song to see if a different section would perform better with the ads. Oh, hey, is verse 1 going to work better? Is verse 2 going to work better? Is the chorus? Is the bridge? Is the ending? Like, where's the hook that people care about the most? And then once you run that test for a little bit, you find that one, you're like, done. I'm going to pick verse 2 and maybe the chorus. If those are the top two things, I'm just going to run my ads using those now, and I'm just going to nuke those things. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is release every song, keep a small amount of the budget for every song maybe to test each individual song, to give each one the same opportunity to prove itself, a fair shake to all of them. And then once you get through that, then you get to say, which one is clearly the winner here? Which one has risen to the top? Now I'm going to focus on that. And that becomes the, what we call the 80-20 principle, where 80% of the results come from only 20% of the songs. It's also this in business as well. Like we've talked about this quite a bit. It's like you're doing all this stuff, but 80% of your business success is coming from 20% of the things you offer. So get rid of the other things and focus on that. That's what this is.
And it's been pretty common across all of the collaborations that we've done. Like if we look at entire projects, like a 10-song project, 2 out of the 10 songs will pay for the rest of the album in terms of streams.
Yep.
And
Typically.
so, yeah, we recommend this for doubling down on high performing songs, but this same method applies to social media. So if you have, for example, it could be a song that's popping off and the same song visually with social media content could also be popping off. Testing those, it's the idea of testing different pieces of the song on social media, on Spotify with ads, and that's the same approach that we have.
Toss me the screen again. Por favor. So a great example, again, is Eleni and what we're doing with her project. So we have an 18-song album that we're collaborating with Mass Anthem and Anthem Worship. We still have like 6 or 7 songs left. We're just unloading music. And all we're doing, guys, is we're seeing what rises to the top. So far, it is quite obvious Draw Me Close has been the front runner. And interestingly enough, that one also became the front runner on social media. So we see that thing hitting on Instagram. We see that thing hitting on Spotify. We see it being the best performer on Apple, on YouTube, on Amazon. We found it. We're just looking for enough pieces of evidence of data. And the plan is, I think what we're going to do is once the album is out and we keep marketing the album now as a whole, we might circle back and start running meta ad campaigns specifically only on Draw Me Close, because we know that that thing hits across the board and now there's no guesswork anymore. We already did all the guesswork. We threw all the songs out to the world and they said, hey, we like this one the most. Maybe there's a second one, you know, maybe there's a few that rise to the top, but lean into that top one. You can't go wrong with that. Juan, does that kind of answer your questions? Do you have any thoughts on any of that? Cool. What's your release schedule for the rest of the songs? What are you looking at for a timeline? Okay. Okay. And one more thing to think about, Juan, is once you have your biggest song figured out, there's two strategies now. You can use the meta ads to grow that solo song, but then you can also use that top performing song, kind of like what I explained, to grow a playlist that all the other songs get to be on now. So that traffic, you know, that popular song is going to be the top of the playlist. People are going to go there for that song, but they're also going to stay on the playlist and the other songs are still going to get love. So you're not just giving up on all the other songs, right? You don't have to just say, well, only 2 hits, so I'm never going to market the other ones. At least grow a playlist and have the other ones on it so that they get the trickle-down effect so people can still start to discover it. Because even with Punch Parade, dude, I still have a couple songs that aren't the top ones. Throw it to me. Un más time, por favor. Punch Parade. So there's a couple on here that you'll notice they aren't at nothing. You know, Purple Paradise, cool about it. I guess over time a little bit as well, but there's a few of these songs that they're not nothing. And the algorithms kind of took over and sometimes they're doing over 1,000 streams per day on Spotify. And I haven't done anything for those because they're still getting traffic. They still got an opportunity to collect enough data. So just something to think about. We really, really encourage you all to have at least one kick butt playlist that you can market most of your catalog, and then double down on the rest of your top songs. And those things are going to drive you the most traffic. Dude, we're getting into it heavy tonight on the meta ads and the marketing. This is good.
Well,
any other thoughts on that?
any final thoughts or questions?
We might be able to keep tonight under 2 hours. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
A lot to think about.
Last question for you guys generally. You can dump this in the chat section if you want, or say it out loud. Are there any topics that you're still looking for more information on that you maybe haven't seen in the classroom curriculum section yet? Things that you think might be helpful that you're running into? We like to keep our eyes and ears out for the next stuff that we should add. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
One of the topics that we want to cover, if I could point you in a direction that we're trying to explore and nail down, is the concept of artist management. It's a big question mark for a lot of artists. When do you need a manager? Are managers relevant? We've had our own experience with managers, but if you guys have any questions around that, we'll probably tackle that and add that to the roadmap because we haven't had any thoughts on that yet in the roadmap.
Show my screen quick. But by the way, in the curriculum, you're going to see, so we're working on this one right now, but like we've got a lot of other courses that we're dreaming up here for you guys. Just anything and everything that has to do with all this. So what we're looking for is when we see you guys expressing needs for specific things, that we know it's more of a priority to get to faster than the rest of them. So that's why we like to ask you guys this stuff. This will be the undefeated course curriculum in the music industry by the end of the year. Yeah, that one's gonna be good. The thing is, it's all good. Like it's all relevant. It's just it might not be relevant for you at this moment in time, but like all of this stuff, like you need the information. So we want to make sure we get it all in there. Well, gang, let's wrap.
Leslie had one final question. How long is each course? Are they huge, small, or varied? They are varied.
Varied.
Yeah.
Some are very huge.
Some are very small, and others are varied. Very varied.
Very varied. Some of them just demand more time on your part to actually practice things, aka meta ads, especially if they're new. The funding course, I mean, that's a pretty long one. Mm-hmm. It requires some setups. Some of the courses are shorter in that we wanted to at least get something out. We haven't necessarily expanded it to what our plan is, but we might just get it started with some information to get the ball rolling for you guys. So the answer to your question was it
varies.
We really don't have an answer other than it varies. And I was just going to follow up with that and say, but again, before you guys do that, I always recommend to finish the Start Here course before you do anything else, because in this course, we give you a breakdown about expectations for the group and everything, but this section right here is very, very important, and that is basically your reality check, what stage you're in, what your goals and everything are, because all of you have different goals, and thus you have different paths that you're going to want to take, different ways you're going to want to approach everything. So I'd highly recommend before you do any of that, you get the Start Here section finished up. Yeah, what's up, Drew?
So if I get the question right, so you got added to a playlist and then Spotify removed the song from the playlist, or it removed your song entirely from Spotify? Okay.
Which means it was DistroKid.
Yeah, you said DistroKid.
Yep.
So how do I give everybody a flyover of this whole topic? So DistroKid has essentially like fail safes to where if it detects any activity that seems abnormal, like a huge spike in streams, they'll just go ahead and flag it no matter what. It could be real listeners. But if you go from a really low amount of streams on a song and then overnight it just spikes like crazy, DistroKid is one of those things where they have so many artists and songs that they're in charge of with like barely any customer service that they have to program these things into their platform to where it's like, immediately take it down. And then it's actually pretty easy to get it back. You usually just have to pay, what is it, like $10 or something?
It's like $10.
But the other thing though too is if you got added to a playlist that actually was botting your music or botting streams or whatever on the playlist, then it could have picked that up too. So it could have been legit.
So let me explain the background for why this is happening. This will help you guys understand this better. Years ago, Spotify realized that it was paying out millions and millions of dollars every year to botted streams, botted playlists, all that stuff. Music that was not getting legitimate streams was getting a ton of money. And they got fed up with it and said, we're done with this. We're changing the game. They integrated a software that is essentially like bot trapping software. It can analyze all the songs, and it has a formula. And does it get everything perfect all the time? No, but it's based off of just, mathematical probabilities. And essentially they have a certain way that they like to see the data now that usually means that it's authentic listenership. And when it breaks out of that, you can very much see that, oh, this is probably botted. Like if you showed Joey and I your Spotify for Artists data for the song, we can probably identify just from looking at it if we think it's most likely botted or real. So there's typically ways to see this. So what they did was they said, you know what? We've been giving these distributors a ton of money for botted streams, and it's ticked us off. So now here's the new game. And they reset the rules. They said, hey, if a song gets flagged and we think it's being botted consistently, we're going to pass that fee on to you, and we're going to charge you guys $10 for the song. And we're going to make the distributors try to pay us back all that money that it cost us for all the fake streams for so many years. And the distributors guys are like, yo, $10 for the amount of times that happens could literally put us out of business. For example, DistroKid, they have like 40% of the independent artist market. Could you imagine every one of those artists getting hit with multiple takedowns, the amount of money that they would have to owe? It'd be stupid. So then DistroKid passes it along to the artist and says, okay, we'll give you 3 strikes. Sometimes they don't even do that. Sometimes they'll just remove it right away. If they take it down, they'll give you an opportunity to buy the song back up. Hey, pay us $10. We'll put the song back up. Sometimes they'll pull it right out of the royalties. They can do that too. Other times, they won't even want to deal with the headache, and they'll just remove it. So, Darrell, I think what you might be talking about is a situation where perhaps you got on a botted playlist, whether it can happen from using the wrong marketing companies that say they're legit, say they're going to do all this stuff for you. They don't care. They just want your money. They don't care if your song gets released or it gets pulled down. That could have happened. Did you use a marketing company for that at all? Or is that just... Okay. Yeah.
And it was one playlist?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Too good to be true, baby.
Yeah. And another thing too, that's why we have so many of our playlists, even if they have low followers on it. Like, for example, for our marketing stuff, that's why we try to place the song across tons and tons and tons of playlists, because it's giving Spotify a different signal than, hey, I'm going to drop it on this one playlist. And obviously we don't bot our playlists because all of our music is on there. But if we can place it on multiple playlists, it's giving Spotify multiple signals that multiple users are actually adding it. And it's not a drop it on one playlist and the thing blows up.
Yeah. Leslie had a question. Do you suggest a different distribution service than DistroKid because of this? If you can share my screen a second, Gio. In the distribution section right here, we actually just added this last week because some of you were asking about this. Here's a list of distributors that you can go through and look at. We'll keep updating this and adding to it. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, if you're a DIY artist, meaning you're doing it yourself, you're going to be choosing a DIY distributor, meaning you're going to go in like DistroKid, upload it. You're probably going to pay a subscription for a year to use the service. DistroKid, even with this headache, guys, we still recommend it because they're very quick on their payouts. Their team has gotten better if you know how to like have a little bit of patience with their little chatbots to get to their team and talk through issues. So you can finally do that. There's a few other DistroKid level similar companies, Amuse, some of these other ones, TuneCore, CD Baby. There's a lot of options here. But the thing is, this story of music getting taken down, we've also heard it with TuneCore. We've also heard it with Amuse. We've also heard it with CD Baby. We've also heard it with United Masters. Like, we've heard it across the board. Like, all of these companies have kind of been running into the same issues. So at this point, I would say go with DistroKid. It's the easiest. We have walkthroughs of, setting up and how to use it and everything. You might as well use it. If something happens, you can get the music added back on. If for some reason DistroKid removed your music and was like, we're not going to let you put it back up, guess what? You can go to any other distributor, take your ISRC code, upload it, they'll let you put it back up. So you're never like locked out of releasing your song. And just learn the marketing game, learn how to market your music correctly, and learn from us how to identify which sketch companies to avoid that get you on botted stuff, and you don't have any issues. Is that helpful? And then there's one more. Jacob Paul, I literally was looking at releasing this song, and DistroKid has something pop up that says, don't use promo services even if real people listen to it. Even if the promo services bring in real people to it, is that what is meant? Yeah, here's the thing. It's funny because Spotify is literally going to tell you this. They're going to say, don't use any other marketing besides us. You can use us. So they're going to say, you can pay us money for marquee. You can pay us money for all the things that we do. Don't do any marketing outside of us. They're going to tell you that. Well, that's their business model. Right. Look at any other big artist in the world. Look at any other big group. They're all running ads outside of their outside of Spotify. They're all running meta ads. They're growing playlists. If they find reputable companies, they're using the playlist support. Like, they're doing all of that. DistroKid, it's the same thing. They're always just going to play it super safe now. They're never going to say, oh yeah, go like whatever, do this, because I would assume there's a liability there when Spotify is like, hey, why are there so many bots happening? It's like, we blame you, DistroKid. So I'm assuming these distributors are just playing it super safe. We can tell you, we've been in the industry for a while as artists here, and we've done an absurd number of streams. How many songs have we had removed for our marketing strategies? Zero. So like we haven't had to deal with any of this because we know how to do it correctly and avoid the sketchiness stuff. So when you see stuff like this, it's the equivalent to meta ads after you start a campaign. It's going to have a thing that pops up and says, hey, your ads might not get any results, but if you increase it by $10 per day, then it'll be good.
And the reason for that, why we have zero takedowns, is because we don't pay anybody else for marketing
our own stuff,
our own music, because we've figured out how to grow our own playlists, which is what we're teaching you guys.
Yep.
And so if you guys are on the fence about using our marketing services, they're like, we've had no takedowns with our own music, with our own playlists and everything, because we've always been incentivized from day one to grow our own playlists for our own music with real fans and listeners.
Yep. Did that answer that question for you? Forget who that was for. Was that Jacob? Is that for you? Or is that Joe?
Yeah, both of them.
Hopefully I helped both of you guys. Hopefully that solved it. And then the last thing that we'll wrap right here, I think Jason Knight made a note. Not sure if it's helpful for anyone else, but knowing when and how to build a team around you, similar to what Joey talked about with the manager situation, but other team members like assistants to help in social media and email and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's probably for a suggestion for potential courses. Yeah. Cool. Screenshot of that. That's a good one. Well, gang, it turns out we did not finish under 2 hours tonight, but that was a great.
We're at 2:03.
Those are good questions to wrap it up. So we want to make sure we hit it. Fantastic. Hopefully you all got more value out of this tonight than the time you took to hang out with us. Next Tuesday, we will be hanging with Dr. Leslie Davis. She will be leading the charge. We're going to be talking about a lot of internal programming stuff, finding your voice, learning how to use your voice. That's going to be a really good mastermind guest speaker call. So be ready for that. We're going to start at 7, and it's going to be more of something that we'll listen to and then have you guys commenting questions along the way for the end. Anything else that we need to cover?
I think we're good.
Everybody, if you
Thanks for
want,
hanging.
take a screenshot. This is a great way to use your affiliate and post that on your social media. Apart from that, we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Hasta luego.
Thanks for hanging.
Hasta luego. Ooh, my ears are warm from that.
Got a little earache.
Hey, we had quite a few people hop in there again.
Yep.